lightsabers down. Hello and welcome to the Nerd Table, where we're just going to discuss Star Wars today. I'd like to introduce you to the Nerd Table Jedi Council. We have two new members here, Michael and Dylan. Let's get down to business. The Force Awakens just came out about a month ago.
Yep. Now, the reason we've refrained from talking about it till now is because if you can tell from the buffer I released, the night that we went to see it, we had to work out our initial surprise and shock and nostalgia. Yes, our hype. There you go.
And separate that from what our actual review would be.
And by seeing the movie more than once each.
For the most part.
Yeah.
What we're going to discuss is the movie itself. We will bring up the originals and the prequels in discussion later on, but let's get this review out of the way first. I have seen it 6 times in theaters and twice streaming online with like Spanish words.
Yeah.
So, because I'm that much of a fan.
Yeah, same.
So,
make piracy sound patriotic.
Yeah, I am a fan. Look, I have paid
It's fine if it's
over $90 in tickets. Over $90 in tickets. I can stream that all I want.
I think they owe me.
Yeah. So, AJ, please.
Hello.
We're in the middle of a shoot. You don't need to be drinking. Come on.
I'm
sorry.
professional.
I know we're
Your drinking is getting out of hand.
I know we're a pain, but come on, keep the vodka offset. Okay. So it's okay. So
Soon
it's okay, I drink to forget you too, AJ.
Back on topic.
So Star Wars
We
The
will
Force
reinvade
Awakens.
the Ukraine.
Star Wars The Force Awakens came out. Directed by J.J. Abrams, who did the first Star Trek reboots.
What a beautiful guy.
Do you want to sit up right now?
I'd say Star Trek works pretty good.
So,
I still prefer Next Gen.
So, it brought back nostalgia to the series. It was like, oh my god, Star Wars is home. It's back. Chewie, we're home. You're our Chewie. Go. There we go. Perfect. We have it all. We've got the long-haired Luke from the end, who's got like a bit of a belly fat, no beard, but I had supposed to have a beard. Fuck you for that.
Yeah, you can't even grow a mustache, loser.
So,
I shaved today.
Wasn't talking about
so directed by J.J. Abrams, did a phenomenal job. My coming out of the theater was like, oh my god! It was like, it was coming out of the theater. I would have said right then and there, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
But of course, we need time to analyze. Decompress, yes.
So it hits so many people are saying it's too much like A New Hope. I can see where that comes from. There's like the orphan on the sand planet, the mentor who dies, the Death Star Star Killer base exploding.
The planet with a giant explosive that drains suns in the center of it.
Yeah, so
Now, I will say, one thing I want to bring up about Star Killer Base,
it was pretty fucking cool.
It was pretty cool.
one thing I love about science fiction is when you get into those big planet killers and all that, right?
yeah.
Let me go through a list here. You've got the first Death Star. How did they show off its power? Killed a planet full of people we didn't care about. The second time with the second Death Star, what did they do? Here's the thing, you saw what it could do before, we might do it to a ton of fuzzy little teddy bears. This one, and this is something where I hate to yet again bring up my obsession, but there's a similar concept in Doctor Who where the Daleks, they basically, to show off a similar weapon, they don't attack a planet. They bring a group of people to test the weapon and kill those people. You see those people.
Yeah, but
Star Wars does the same here. You see the surface of one of the planets.
You don't give two shits.
But yeah, unlike what I brought up earlier, you still don't care.
So
Now, originally, and this is according to some online, they were going to have a scene where you saw, there was one woman you see in the foreground of that. She was going to be talking to Leia and showing how the government system for comparing to the Resistance, how all that worked. They cut the scene because, you know, political stuff is bad, as we saw with the prequels.
look, so let's talk about characters. They brought back the old cast.
most of it.
Oh my god. They did so well with bringing back the old and making it feel
like home.
Yeah,
make it feel like though there have been developments and we hadn't really seen them, they still felt like the characters we knew.
You know, it's been like
Han
40...
Solo is
oh.
still a scumbag.
Yeah.
Princess Leia is still like, don't do that. What? Anything. Like, she's still like, princess.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
been like 40 years since a movie like this one.
Yeah. And let's talk about the new characters, because we could go for hours about this, but we don't have hours. So, yes, the characters are familiar, and we're glad to see them again. And I love the development they've done between Han and Leia, and how they've had their
Babies.
relationship, and it has utterly failed. And I like that,
'Cause they're-
because who the hell would expect those two to work?
it's a princess and a smuggler. That's
Yeah.
like, that's
There's
like,
Douchebag.
There's a
The
line
mass
in
murder
there is a
and
line
stuff.
in the Throne trilogy, or no, one of the later books in the Expand universe where it starts with Leia's asleep in like a bedroom. Han gets up to put on some clothes, and he talks about how his life before Leia was like he could do anything. He kind of wore the same stuff day by day, but here he had regulated like these shirts and all that, and
It
that
wasn't
alone
good for
perfectly
him.
represents how he feels about this new life.
so their relationship fails. They have a son who goes AWOL and is like,
Slaughters some Jedi.
yeah.
They have James Bond working as a stormtrooper.
And that
Yeah.
scene is one of the funniest scenes.
Oh,
in the
that
whole
was
movie.
great.
Yeah.
BB-8 was so much fun. When they were like, we're gonna have a new droid, I was like, we don't need a new droid. Like R2D2 and C3PO work so perfectly. I don't want a new droid. You can't replicate that.
And they did.
But they
They
did
did
it
it perfectly in that movie. though.
All
Pulled it
that
off.
and more. When they
R2
showed R2 and C3PO back up, it was like, hey, those are the old droids. Does this mean we won't get to see BB-8 again, though?
Yeah, it was a moment where you saw them
It was a
all
moment
working
where
and
you
you
were
were like, oh no.
Yeah, but
R2's been in low power mode for
yeah, that was another thing.
He
Like,
misses his friend.
it was
like
like
30 years.
it was like yes, they're back.
Not doing anything.
I don't want to miss out on BB-8 though.
Yeah.
Like BB-8, the
Oh, yeah.
chemistry between the droid and his master, between BB-8 and Poe Dameron, was phenomenal. They had, but the thing is, they had better chemistry than Han Solo and Kylo Ren,
Yeah.
father and
Yeah.
son.
Well, that's because, like, for one, you can see Han's character. He doesn't really, like, look at his emotional side. Think about that in the Star
What
Wars
emotional
films.
side?
I love you. I know.
Yeah, it's like, get away from me, Jesus! You're so clingy. I'm just gonna be frozen.
Like, think about that. That's like that. I didn't have a problem with because it fit his character.
It's just a great
He's not
line.
capable of caring about anything more than the big fuzzy carpet he has piloting his ship.
And the crossbow that he has, which...
Oh, the bowcaster.
That was great. It was just like, I like this
Yeah.
thing.
It's like, do you mind if I use that? But let's go back into it. Finn,
Great guy.
I really like that they're
I
giving.
really like
John
him.
Boyega.
I really like the idea that they're giving stormtroopers more, but like we're seeing how the structure of the First Order works, and
Yeah.
I want that expanded on
And
so
I
much.
love the scene at the beginning, when you see the one stormtrooper get shot, and you see Finn fall, like go over to him,
It
and they
shows
actually
that-
seem like real people.
Yeah,
it's
they don't
not
just
just
seem
a
like
mindless army.
They're
like
just
everything
mindless
else.
people just there to be killed.
Well, I think they
now
changed.
it was so much
yeah,
more.
it's not-
yeah,
it's not
by
like
this
it
point,
changed.
cloning's been cut out completely, and by this point, they're literally stealing kids from. It's Hitler
But, like,
youth. They're the
those-
Hitler youth.
I think
Just
Kamino
that
was destroyed,
scene.
was it
It
not?
That
was
scene, it
so
was
much.
like- it's
It was
so
so
much heart.
impactful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so well done because it made them seem like real people.
Yeah, and to continue
They did
the whole
such a
the
great job
traitor
with it.
line, and there's one thing that they've recently like released and everything, because I know that the fan thing was like traitor as his identification number and all that. He was actually apparently in the same group, like the same
Yeah.
training group as Finn.
So let's go. So Finn, or FN21A7, as he was designated. Michael, stop playing with the expensive prop. It was played by John Boyega, who did a phenomenal
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Ray,
Ray did such a good.
so
Yeah.
like phenomenal, played by Daisy Ridley almost.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Played by Daisy Ridley.
I enjoyed her
I'd
performance.
actually like
but
to talk a bit more about Ray. Just like I think what they can do, it's gonna be really interesting seeing future movies
Yeah.
with her because clearly, even without any training, how powerful she is, being able to use the mind trick, force pull, that
Mind
kind of
reading,
thing.
which they've finally
Yeah.
done more.
On her first day, knowing she has the Force. If you look at Empire Strikes Back, admittedly I haven't seen A New Hope in a while, but I don't think it's until the ice cave in Empire Strikes Back until Luke is able to pull the lightsaber towards
I
him.
think so.
Well,
I
So
think that's
you-
the first time he uses it.
It's
And
not
that-
the first time he uses the Force, but the first time he really begins to... his
No, the
Force
first time-
training begins really on Dagobah,
Yeah.
if you think about it. Yeah.
When he, and how long after, he first learned about the Force was that scene? It was quite a
couple
while.
years.
Yeah, few years. Her being able to do that on her first day, and able to fight Kylo Ren, and now being if she gets trained by Luke, she'll probably be one of the most powerful.
In regards to Rey, because you talked about her power level and her ability, a lot of things people have been saying is that she's very much a Mary Sue. We know very little about her backstory aside from, she's an orphan and everything, but all we know is she's an incredibly powerful Force user, and...
I feel like the next movie we're gonna figure out a bit more about her, her.
Yeah,
Her
no, this is
background.
most
Be going
definitely
in
this is
depth
most
about it.
definitely leading into unlike the original trilogy. This is leading this is to set up events. This isn't.
Yeah.
That was one of my issues with it, I guess. It was
Not enough of the
the
backstory. Or...
A New Hope was
a
yeah, we
close
defeated
story.
the Death Star, we did it, yeah, and then
It was a closed hero's
Empire
journey.
Strikes Back was like, oh, we'll get him next
Well,
time.
as bad as
And then Return of the Jedi was like, hey, we did it, and then this one was like, hey, you want to know what happens next?
Yeah.
as much as you guys hate the
Which is good, I
prequels,
think.
well, you two at least, and you hate the first two.
Yeah.
They did a good job of the backstory and explaining all of it.
Yeah.
That was well done.
A Darth Vader backstory is a really cool idea, and it could have been done so well. They just didn't do a good enough job on it.
Yeah, they didn't really. It felt like, for example, do you guys know what the posters were like for Phantom Menace?
Never
One of the
Yes.
primary posters was you had little kid Anakin and a big shadow with Vader and all that. They were planting as much as they could, oh, he's gonna turn evil, he's gonna turn evil, it's gonna happen. Hey, remember? Don't care about this guy, he's gonna turn evil.
Uh-huh.
And they never bothered to make him a character you could sympathize much with.
Nope.
Yippee!
Funny when he gets taken
Oops.
from his house.
Oops.
I was bawling
Yeah.
when he got taken.
Oops, oops,
I'm
oops.
sorry I blew up your blockade runner.
Yeah, it was like, is this the trigger? Is this the trigger? Is this the trigger? Oh shit, we're in space.
Who's flying this? Artist in the back. Shut up, kid. I'm trying to fly the plane.
This is an airplane.
Anyway, all right. So, but what I wanted to bring up was, I'm hoping that they've learned a lot from the mistakes of the prequels, and they decided to really develop Rey's character, because they've given intrigue, but they haven't really you care more about the whys than the characters' motivations themselves.
Now, I'd like to bring up the Death Star again.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, and
Stop it. Just stop
Yeah,
it, for
there's-
God's sakes. We've had 7 movies and
Well, what
3
else
of them
are they
are
gonna
Death
do?
Stars.
Yeah.
Stop.
they can have a lot to
Like-
Thrawn trilogy was a massive fleet that.
And I mean,
And I hate to keep bringing it up. You know me, I know you guys hate when I bring up Thrawn trilogy, but
I
It's
only
an
heard of
exam-
it today. So.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
me
an
too.
example of a different path that the Star Wars universe could have taken. And it also dealt with a new version of the Empire and all that. But instead of another Death Star, they were like, yeah, that was a terrible plan. We're going to go after this fabled fleet of incredibly powerful warships.
yeah. And here, you're like, what else can they do? Widely
What
known,
else can't they do?
Widely known
Yeah.
as the best Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, which
And
mirror...
that is straight up no super evil weapon. It's just the space Nazis are here and they're kicking ass.
Yeah, you had the Star Destroyers, and then you had the flagship that was the Super Star Destroyer. It didn't do anything special. It was just a bigger version of the other ships. They don't need to focus the
whole thing on
villain's
we can
plan
kill
on
planets.
Yeah.
What I want
It's just Nazis.
what I want to see is like, I think we need more or massive scale just land battles.
Yeah.
Because think about Empire Strikes Back
One of the
when the
most
guy looks through
memorable
the
things.
binoculars and you see the AT-ATs coming. Like it's just a moment of oh my
One of the
god.
most memorable things in that
And
movie
it's
is the
so
Battle
great.
of Hoth.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
it's
an
just
incredibly
a
well
massive
shot
so
battle.
well done.
Like with
Like,
all the
Hence the
trenches.
snow speeder.
So if they could do more like that.
What I'm trying to say
Perfect
here
about
is,
it.
I feel like the one battle we got, the siege that happened in this film in episode 7, I liked it because it showed off. For one, the troop carriers, the ones that
Yeah.
kind of, they look a lot like futuristic versions of the landing craft
Mhm,
used during
yeah.
D-Day.
Yeah.
Those things, I love them
It's
because
such a nod, and it's so visually pleasing.
And I love with them that they aren't big and flashy. They are utilitarian. They are meant to work.
Yeah.
They are meant for.
They're meant to kill.
war.
Yeah, they're meant to land
It's
the
not
troops
meant to
and
be
transport
flashy.
them. They are
like
they are
just
meant to have
like
like
starfighter.
They're meant to
Yeah.
get
Someone-
shit done.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I love
Exactly.
that. And that's where like the battles that we did see. They aren't battles. They're sieges. They are straight on attacks by the First Order.
Mm.
I like them. They didn't go on too long. There was enough happening, and I feel like there was a good balance there between plot line and.
I would like to
And I
say.
think
I would like to say. Some of my favorite scenes in this movie is because of like how amazing the visual effects are,
Yeah.
but the scenes where you see the aerial combat, it's like anyone who makes a movie can do aerial
They're
combat,
insane.
but it's so
So well
feels
paced.
Pleasing.
it
Cool.
feels like Star Wars,
On
and
steroids.
yeah.
it
It
feels
really
like
is.
it feels like Star Wars has just kicked it up to a whole new level, but not to the point where it's like any other war film.
How about we discuss the grand villain of the film?
Well, before that,
Beauty.
there's something else I just kind of want to bring up. Like, we kind of got off topic, but we were talking about how it'd be cool to have more land back, like big land
Yeah.
battles, and there's just
To see the
sieges.
conflict.
And, like, so I think what could be good is because this is the first movie when the First Order is
Their
really
empire.
like,
Refer to them as the
like-
empire.
it's at its peak, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they're winning.
They're
So
taking
they
over.
are able to just have these sieges where they
And you see
basically
their
just
force,
go in
their
unopposed
forces in.
and just take them out. But I feel like in the next few movies, as the Resistance gets more and more powerful, we could have some of those awesome land battles where it just just large scale warfare
There is a deleted
because they
scene.
can oppose them.
There's a deleted scene that I've been hearing about
Yeah.
from Collider, which is a huge influence on this channel.
Mhm.
For on that planet, the Starkiller Base planet, I don't know if they ever named it, but
Just-
there's a
it's-
snow speeder chase.
Really?
Yeah, that was cut from the film.
Isn't that the bit where you see like the First Order's version of like their snow troopers and all that? Because
Yeah.
I know you see them briefly.
You see them. You see them briefly, and like, you see there's a chase. It's not just warfare. It's a snow speeder chase, and that was cut from the film, unfortunately. But so they did want to go back into that, and again from Collider, there's been interviews with John Boyega, who's talking about the new film, Episode 8, is gonna be.
Which
dark.
is already.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
that's
be
good.
the darker one, like Empire
Alright.
I
Strikes
like
Back
that.
was. Let's talk about Kylo Ren.
What a beauty.
So Darth Vader in the originals was like, he was the big one. He was, everyone talked about Darth Vader. He was the epitome of
Yeah.
the cinematic villain.
And you saw that everyone tasked on the Death Star and on the Superstar Destroyer, they feared him.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of his anger was that he was not as powerful as Darth Vader.
Which was a neat
Yeah,
touch.
I
like
love that.
So
Well,
there,
besides, I just before we get off topic,
You will meet your destiny.
Loser.
so
I had to.
let's hope that destiny is saying good Star Wars films. So
Well, 8's already written. Also,
eight's already written, and I think they're
It's
filming.
Abrams as well, right?
No, right.
Oh wait,
It's
why not?
right.
Nope, not
Kylo
watching
Ren.
it. Screw it.
so. Kylo Ren is phenomenal. He's not too much like Vader, but he's got so much heart, and unlike
And
Vader,
so much nose.
unlike Vader, you can feel the emotion.
Yeah.
The
He's
emotional-
not-
emotional-
He's pissed off.
There's rage,
Oh, yeah.
but there's also the emotional
Conflict.
conflict in him. Where
Where
he
he
talks.
feels the pull towards the light.
Yeah, he talks about. He feels the pull towards the light, and he knows that his master can sense it, and he wants to do better.
Actually, hold on. Who trained him?
Who trained him?
Luke.
Luke Skywalker trained him, and then he went rogue, and is under the wing of Andy Serkis's character,
Snoke.
Clearly,
Supreme Leader Snoke, who I would like to point out, I'm still 100% sure he is Darth Plagueis.
We
Absolutely.
can only hope.
Because the scar on
That'd
his
be
head and
so
whatever
awesome.
looks like he'd been attacked or whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll explain that.
Because
Right.
they said he killed him in his sleep, but maybe not.
So, Kylo Ren is so phenomenal.
Like, it's interesting the pull to the light side and everything, but what I just love is when you can see the rage. Like
Yeah.
the scene where they're talking about how the droid escaped and he's attacking the thing,
And that's-
and it just makes him, it makes it more terrifying, and it just makes him
You can
feel.
see the fear on
Because
that
like
Admiral's face.
it's the kind of thing where, or when someone crosses him, it's like, oh, you done?
Well, every time-
it's
I think
awesome.
they also did a good job with his lightsaber because every time it opened, it was so loud
Yeah.
that you literally jump in your seat.
And how it was all like crackling and
Yeah.
everything, it looked so much just more
Now-
intimidating and menacing.
and I like kind of
It was
what that
awesome.
represents. There's so much untouched power there, but he can't.
He's a
And it-
broken character
Yeah.
to represent his broken lightsaber.
Yeah,
It's-
he can't really control or properly channel the abilities he has, which
Like it's basically just when he gets enraged, get out of the way.
which a
And
couple
it's
stormtroopers
perfect.
do.
It's
Yeah,
perfectly
which a few
identified.
stormtroopers do.
Yeah, when they run out.
They didn't even go in. They were like,
They were
Yeah,
like-
they
saw
saw
it, like,
something
nope.
fly
They
down the
saw the
hallway.
sparks and we're like, fuck that.
We are not paid high enough to deal with that.
they're probably not paid at all.
Oh no, no, they're not.
So, Kylo Ren is the son of Princess Leia and Han Solo. Which is taking a huge hint from the expanded universe that is no longer canon. It's named Ben after
Oh,
old
God.
Ben Kenobi,
Yeah.
I think? Yeah,
which
probably.
is
Yeah.
such a nice touch. Again, it's one of those ones where just
Like-
it hits you. It hits
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah.
All us sweaty nerds are like, "Ah, Ben, no, we're like Luke Skywalker at the end of A New Hope. It's like when Han Solo steps out on that bridge, he's like, Ben. We're like, Ben.
But he like,
And Jerry ice cream?
God damn it. No. Oh yeah. Ben Kenobi, he just falls. He doesn't. He just like disappears when he gets hit with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
He doesn't even go anywhere. He just falls.
Well, because like it was a thing where like he just kind of disappears. He's gonna show up.
He
He's
disappears.
fine.
He
He's
disappears
fine.
naked.
Okay.
Stop
You
it.
see him dead later, but
So,
That was
Kylo
hologram,
Ren
AJ.
is such a phenomenal character.
So great.
right.
So he's supposed to be the new Darth Vader character, and as for the new Emperor
He wishes.
character, who may not be the new character that they're
Yeah.
trying to lead us to believe, he may be Plagueis.
That would be
I hope
really
so.
cool.
Again, it's all motion captured by my god, Andy Serkis.
Kylo Ren, do you have the precious?
Yeah, that's my boy.
Next time.
That's my boy. It's
Welcome.
like,
Right. So we've gone over characters.
so.
Do you want to theorize?
I wanna talk about one last character before we. Let's
yeah.
briefly go. So Poe Dameron, phenomenal. He's
Poe.
personally my favorite
He's so
character.
great.
But because we're running so short on time, I want to talk about one of my problems with the film. And
Don't you diss Poe.
no, Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
Loser.
Oh.
God, she's so heavily advertised, and she's such a bitch. She doesn't
Like,
do anything.
Her amount of screen time in the trailers was probably the same amount of time she was
Ex-
actually
yeah,
on
in the actual
movie.
Yeah, with all the footage.
She had-
It's like, she was the Darth Maul of this one, just less badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Maul.
Unlike
Great.
Darth Maul, they won't bring her back in an animated series.
Yeah,
It's kind of annoying though.
Now, it's another one of those things where is she cast to come up in the next?
she is.
Alright. We
So
can hope
she may
that-
be the new Boba Fett type.
We can hope that, yeah, she'll come back and be
she
like,
got put in the trash compactor though.
Supposedly, but she's cast to come back.
Alright.
others got out of the trash compactor.
Yeah.
Well, she's a clone.
She's not.
No, she's not a
There's
clone.
no clone.
There are clones. That's been phased out for years. They kidnap people from their...
Remember, I was taken from a family that I'll never know.
All of them are like that. They steal children. They're the Hitler Youth.
Yeah,
Right.
that's another thing. Let's go.
The Nazi symbolism.
If you ever had an issue where you were like in the original ones, it's like you had that one guy who was like, that's all about Nazis. You're like, nah, they wouldn't do that. That's
And
too
they're called
much."
stormtroopers.
They are like they're standing in front of the Nazis, like the flags that are going down like that.
And just
there's like so
the
they
way-
literally salute like
yeah.
The way that he's dressed as well when he's giving that speech
Mhm.
is exactly
They
like the
actually-
Nazi.
yeah.
Total.
rather than like the swastika, they have the First Order as an armband around General Hux. It's,
Yeah.
it's like way to hit that right on the nose, guys. Like
That's not
but
just-
it's like horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like the Nazis, but if...
Nazis,
Nazis in
in
space.
space. We've talked about the effects. We've talked about the characters, what we enjoy, what I didn't enjoy so much. I'd like to get. Let's start with Dylan. Is there anything that you didn't like about this film, or any complaints that you had?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but not very many, if there is any at all. Just it was beautiful.
Michael?
Made me very emotional.
I agree with the Phasma thing. Could have had a bit more. But really, with this movie, all I really care about is I just want to see where it's going to go next. I just want to see what they do with it.
They should have started
Me-
filming earlier.
With me, I've got an issue which I have with... It's not something you guys will really get, but it's something I
If you
have
diss
with a
Poe,
lot
kill you.
of... Which I have with a lot of Star Wars. All those characters that don't matter at all and you see for a couple seconds, but the fandom gives a ton of names and weight and backstory to. Stuff like, oh, the traitor played by Simon Pegg who did this and this, or the... Like,
This isn't Tumblr. It's not a fandom.
it's...
Like, realistically, it's like Star Wars is one of those ones where like if you're on screen for half a second, you got an action
You've got a
figure-
name
you
and
got
a
an action
backstory.
figure that's worth $100 on eBay.
Yeah, it's just... It's something where it's not a major complaint, but it's just... It bothers me just a
Fans
little.
are crazy.
Just the fans like, oh, you've got to know the exact name of that guy.
So, I want to get this straight.
Or what was it, Constable Zuvia, wasn't that his name or something? Who didn't even show up?
I want to get this straight. So, our complaints about the film. Your complaint for Star Wars is about the fans. Like, we're making a video for the fans, and you're like, my complaint is about all of you assholes.
No, my complaint is just the way that they have these characters who just show up for a couple seconds, and then they give them like these big... It's just the way that they... I don't know, it's not something... It requires a whole other video for me to properly go over, so I'm not really going to get into it.
And there's so many
Into the-
characters.
Into the film alone, Phasma was underwhelming and underused.
And annoying.
The Resistance was never given any proper explanation as to what its distinction from the Rebellion was, though they had scenes,
I think
they had deleted scenes that were going to that were going to explain that. Other issues, let's see. I can't really continue with it because I cannot weigh this film on its own, and I think that's both a terrible and a brilliant thing because they're stretching the story out. But it means that the review can't fully go into everything because we don't know everything.
So many
because the
unanswered
story's not
questions.
over.
So, at the moment, I don't like that we didn't get a conclusive full circle ending, but on the other hand, I do because because we
It's
couldn't have really.
anticipation for more.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love the open ending because there are so many questions I have.
Now,
Yeah.
AJ, speaking of so many characters, we forgot about Maz Kanata.
Oh yeah.
God damn it.
Remember her? She's in the
Yeah,
film.
she's great.
She even has a deleted scene where she's actually using the Force.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Here's the thing. So many deleted scenes that could add to the film and add to the story and all that. But and of course
That's
you do have ones that don't. But I mean, just there are some that could patch up details. And in short, for a Star Wars film,
As a Star Wars film,
as a return to the galaxy far, far away.
11 out of 10.
Agreed.
As a film with the problems with characters, the return of another Death Star, and this is me I'm gonna be biased because it's Star Wars again. I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, but I'm a
We don't
biased
really
nerd.
do a rating system though.
Yeah.
So
but it's just a fun.
It's a good movie.
It's so much fun.
in closing, thank you for coming. If you would like to comment below, we very much appreciate it because we would like this discussion to continue.
Yeah.
We would like to see your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas. We realize this video is a little late and the Star Wars hype has kind of died down just a bit. But regardless, we do not care. We would like the discussion to continue.
So, again, thank you.
All of the 4 people that watch.
I would, again, well, this was the,
Nerd
our
Table Jedi
first
Council.
Nerd Table Jedi Council.
Oh, and one more detail I forgot to leave in. Just because the main character is a female who's able to do things on her own, it doesn't make it feminist propaganda.
Yeah,
you
shut the
stupid
fuck up, Tumblr.
neckbeards.
Thanks for watching,
I do-
guys.
Thanks for watching.
Tune in next time.
We'll see you in a bit.
We're the
You
Nerd Table.
stupid neckbeard.